Sandra Ramaker, R-A-M-A-K-E-R, Virgin Valley Water District, Mesquite, Nevada. I'm very disappointed today.
Excuse me, would you turn on your microphone? Thank you.
I'm very disappointed that I didn't get to see how you go about doing your RFOs. When I saw that on the agenda today, I came here hoping to see how you reach these opinions and get more information as to how and why these opinions are made. So I'm very disappointed to not have that happen today. I had some very direct questions on the letter I got before I did the appeal. That you had made a comment that in it that I had not given a minimal level of evidence, and yet I don't understand what's your requirement for a minimal. I had sent information, I sent a witness letter, I sent a copy of the video, that particular one instance. So I don't understand, and I'm looking for more information on that. On the appeal, I did send more information and more items that had happened during that time. And so I'm just really just confused and looking for information, and was hoping to hear what that decision was today and how you reach it, since it was on the agenda. And indicate I am the requester of 50/50 yen, to specify what that was. And I just, I know that there's different standards for both elected officials and for journalists and public in general. But I honestly believe that this general statement that has to do with being a public official states that something to the nature of, if it appears to the average person that there's a conflict, then there's a conflict and you should abstain from it. And so I find that an important issue. You are the Ethics Commission, and I hold you probably to a higher standard because you're basically what sets ethics for all of us and tells us I know it's your opinion, and I am hoping to find out more as to how this came about, what the decision is, and when that will come down, since it's not in the public. Thank you.
Ms. Ramaker, first of all, we really appreciate your presence here. Your comments are very thoughtful, and we will take your comments under consideration when we do this jurisdictional appeal. But we thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Ms. Ramaker, we're going to tell you a bit about the procedures that we undertake with this jurisdictional appeal.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to provide an opportunity to make sure that our public understands the process that the Commission undertakes when it evaluates requests for opinion that come to our office. First, what happens typically is when a request for opinion is filed with the Ethics Commission, the Commission's legal counsel and myself as the Executive Director, we evaluate those requests for opinion for various matters. The first is whether or not it's filed in the proper form. The second is whether it's signed by a person who is attesting to the fact that they believe that there's been a violation. And the third is this evidentiary standard, and it's evidence which supports a reasonable belief of a violation. So whereas you might feel that you have presented evidence, we have to evaluate it for an evidentiary standard that supports a violation of NRS 281A. And what happens if the Commission Counsel and I review that evidence that's been submitted with a request for opinion and determine that that evidence, in our opinion, does not satisfy that evidentiary threshold of a violation of 281A, then it initiates the appeal process for either the requester or the subject to file an appeal of that staff determination to the full commission. The nature of our requests for opinion in third-party cases are very sensitive and protected by strict statutory confidentiality provisions. And that is primarily for the protection of any subject, because we want to protect the identity of a subject and allegations against a subject before there's been a fair due process in terms of being able to notify the subject of the allegations and the fact that the commission has or has not accepted jurisdiction, and or whether we will initiate an investigation in that case. Because of those strict statutory confidentiality provisions, the commission is not subject to the open meeting law with regard to issues that confront requests for opinion. We are able and allowed to deliberate and discuss and make action on requests for opinion outside of the open meeting law to protect those due process interests. When we're talking about a third-party request for opinion, what we do require, after we've gotten through a panel setting where we've had if we do accept jurisdiction, we will conduct an investigation, and we will present the evidence that we discover during the course of an investigation to what's known as an investigatory panel of our commission. And that's 2 members of our commission. Those members may not be from the same political party. Again, an effort to achieve balance. And if that investigatory panel reviews the evidence received from the investigation and from the subject and feels that there's sufficient evidence to move forward to a full commission, the full commission will notice a hearing. And that can result in several things. We can either make a settlement resolution because the parties will agree that the evidence is sufficient to find a violation. It could end up in a dismissal if the evidence is deemed not to be sufficient, or the commission could go forward to a full evidentiary hearing and render its decision at that point. In a third-party case, while the commission, after we get to a panel, while the commission might deliberate in private, it's typically the practice of the commission for transparency purposes to sometimes deliberate in public, but always issue its final decision in a third-party case in a public meeting. And so only after the point at which the investigatory panel has made its decision whether to go forward or not, does the case actually become public. And that's sort of the statutory limits on our confidentiality. And so when we undertake a jurisdictional analysis for the full commission, which is on appeal of the staff's decision, that also must occur in a confidential private setting. However, the results of that determination will result in a written jurisdictional decision that will be provided to both the requester and to the subject. And if you have any other questions about our procedures, or when you do receive a jurisdictional determination from this commission, either Commission Counsel Tracy Chase or myself would be happy to walk you through the meaning of those things. And also, if requests for opinion are dismissed for lack of the sufficient evidence, it's dismissal without prejudice, which means if additional evidence were available to support a violation, you are permitted as a requester to refile that.
Thank you, Madam Executive Director. Ms. Ramaker, again, thank you for your comments, and also Mr. McGreer, thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
And if I
We'll
may,
pay
thank you
attention
for
to
your
that.
explanation.
Please turn to agenda item 8. This is the time for adjournment. May I have a motion on adjournment?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Vice Chair Weaver.
I move to adjourn.
Thank you. Second, do I hear a second? Thank you very much, Madam Hoover. It has been moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. The meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.